experts around the model of care come together, and we finally realised that what we do have now in terms of our capacity to say there's a framework, a university framework to actually pick it up, and that's the Indigenous humanity framework.
Green, white and blue.
One of the most important assertions that have been made in the last couple of days has been this notion of health sovereignty. Initially as a theory and a concept, but what we've seen over the last couple of days is stories of fellow participants that have helped put meat on the bones of the theory of health sovereignty, what that means. And in the context here, health sovereignty, what that means for Zenadth Kes people. It means, what I've heard is around leadership by Zenadth Kes people, by the people that has been entrusted by the community to provide that leadership.
And I believe it's the practical example of empowerment of our people, that it's ever a very transparent, clear journey where we saw our people that actually the traditional practice are recognized and complement the contemporary practice about healing.
What you feel is what you are. You're a part of black.
And I'm talking about that model, the program. It touches so many lives. It's changed so many people because the model is alive. There is no other program like the Torres Strait Model of Care because it encompasses our culture, our spiritual belief, our identity, and the way we practice and live.
But in asserting our sovereign rights, that's where we were coming from. And I think there's still a whole lot more around setting frameworks to enable that to happen.
Over 65,000 years of traditional medicine. Traditional medicine must coexist with Western medicine.
For example, you talk about health, langus blayumi. Lo langus blayumi ideni dan. That's what langus for healing, and dan like is life. Everything's around life. Because of the colonization, we go through, we live now, and we live through poverty now because of all this outside influence comes in. We were sick people. But the Torres Model of Care opened our eyes, but a bit too late for me to reverse anything. My kidney was gone. So I'm a renal patient now. I sit on dialysis. Because I'm a head of this, my tribe, my clan, and my people been moved away from my island to live in Cairns. And they go down there, they die down there, away from home.
And people can talk about that, from birth to grave. But do you understand what that is? You don't actually get it. I suppose we see it in a different light. Because as nurses, we're there, at the birth. We're looking after them as they're growing. And then, as community people, we bury them.
In our heart and sovereignty, we always knew that it was ours. It was our model. It was our health in the Torres Strait. And now I think this is a wonderful opportunity, a much needed opportunity to come out during this time, right now, this weekend, that we gather the truth and the voice of the people, and we go back and put the mat back together. We call it the walk. The mat has to come back into our lifestyle, and that lifestyle will be much better if we are well.
It's our passion to work in this health field for the sake of our people. Because, at times our people won't say anything. And sometimes when our people don't say things, non-Indigenous people think that they don't understand, but they just don't want to speak to a non. They prefer speaking to their own color.
So that's the beauty of having our own health run by your own people, your own leaders. You're qualified doctors and qualified nurses and health workers and you name it across the field. It's very important for us. We have a generation who's coming next after us, for them to see that, for them to also run with it, and their children, and to be a proud Indigenous health workers. To now look back now, okay, we've established this, something that we've established, and it's there now. It's concrete now.
I came in as a trainee health worker. So my introduction to the model of care right from the start was, and got saturated with, that it is a model designed by our people, for our people.
Because I've been a nurse here at TI General Hospital when I was 17 years old. It's gone. It's gone with my time and with our time, the Torres Model of Care. So they're sort of back to zero again. And our people there need help outside. What they should do is go out there. That's what we were doing.
Seeing or hearing, I think, a quite mature discussion around what health sovereignty means.
And that's why we led, when I was the chair of the Health Council, we adopted this saying, you change, your community change, and you design the change. This is what the Torres Model of Care is about.
In bringing all our experiences together, we can truly say, yes, that the Torres Model of Care can work, and according to the needs the community have now and the demands, we can make it work even better as well.
My experience of working under the model back then was such a really good, positive model. The model allowed for Indigenous management, so I feel that's really, really important if we are to close the gap, because only we can close the gap, and we know what's best for us and how healthcare should be delivered.
Health becomes second place to other things that you have to do in your cultural life. I had a sister-in-law. She was looking after us when our family member passed away, and she just found out the night before she had a thumbtack stuck in her leg, and she didn't realize that. And I said, no, you can't stay here today. You have to go in and see the doctor. She said, no, I can't go. I have to look after the family first. That's my responsibility. My cultural role comes first. Never mind me.
So yeah, the model is, it is the community. I think just to see it otherwise is to not understand it. But more importantly is to think yourself as a savior of the community, and not see yourself in that moment as a very problem that perpetuates the disadvantages that are experienced by the Zenadth Kes community.
So storytelling is not purely proffering of information. It's actually part of a very intrinsic, old, ancient culture that we've used to make sure that we we impart knowledge based on the action that we think that is necessary for our survival. I think the humanity aspect of what we're talking about is basically now finding a compatible dimension that we, as traditional owners, as marine country people, saltwater people, don't feel the need to lose any sense of our importance when you're dealing with us as a whole person, as a whole culture, as a whole tradition, and recognize us as a sovereign being, and that sort of in itself, I suppose, extinguished terra nullius. And colonisation has no real foundation in any society other than it's a tool that's been used to reconstruct how we justify stealing from one another. So the canon itself, deployed in that sense of collective consciousness, really becomes the figment of what colonisation is trying to do in this country. And you can see by people now saying that it really doesn't have any place because our identity transcends 40, 100,000 years of wealth of existence. Just a symbol like the canon just pales into non-existence. And the powers of the story are basically an arsenal that we use to combat something, the physical nature of the canon and what the canon represents, because they're cultural arsenal that will continue to fuel our existence for time immemorial.
United in this treasure Torres Strait is our home, where we've strived in the seas alone. Torres Strait is our home, 'cause what you feel is what you are. You're a part of black, green, white and